Raven season started. The Orioles are in the pennant race, and we will talk plenty about that. I take a little break every now and again to promote my own causes, whether it's my wife's diabetes or my wife's leukemia or our work with the Bone Marrow Registry, which we're very, very passionate about with There Goes My Hero, as well as our partnership with Brian Billick and the Living Classrooms Foundation, and James Bond's going to be here later this month as well. But we have fallen in love with this lady and the work that she's done because we're in love with our cat. We're in the midst of the 5th year of our incredible love affair with our cat, Kitty, that we got at the Baltimore Humane Society out on Nicodemus Road, out on the west side of town. And I'm going to bring Wendy Golban on. She is the Director of Marketing and PR. Wendy, how goes it? Happy fall, happy Dog Fest. I know we're going to talk about that, but I got to tell you, we do shows up in Carroll County. We drive by your place. I'm up in Owings Mills a lot, and there's never a time that I'm on 795 north of, I don't know, the Reisterstown area, and I don't remember the first time we went out to get our cat, because it's certainly nothing has changed our life, especially with what my wife's been through, like that cat. So you create miracles out there.
Well, thank you. We do our best, but I think it all belongs to the animals, not to me.
Well, somehow we have our Creator's most perfect creation. And our cat and Kitty, we dote on her and love on her. But I know you create happy magic, Match.com for people and animals all the time. And I know your Dog Fest is how we met 5 years ago, and 4.5 years ago we adopted a pet. And I am probably your biggest fan and champion because of what that animal's represented in our lives. But you're trying to adopt more, you're trying to do more, you're always trying to raise funds, save animals, and create these miracles, and Dog Fest is one of the most important things you guys do.
That's right. Dog Fest is our biggest fundraiser, and just to remind people, we are a private nonprofit. We don't get funding from the government. We don't get funding from the Humane Society of the U.S. We truly rely on the support of the community and on events like this to be a success.
Well, I'm hoping this one's successful. Run me through, my wife last year was one of your judges, right along next to Jamie Costello, Bob Turk, and a whole bunch. And she, at the time, it was about a week before she was diagnosed a second time with cancer. It was one of the highlights of her getting well. She loved being out there and judging the dogs. And there's so many different things you guys do at Dog Fest.
It is so much fun. How could she not have a good time, really? So we have the contests that are judged by, our local celebrities. Best dancer, best kisser, best tail wagger, owner, pet, lookalike. Oh, you should have seen that woman last year with her dog. Best mutt.
Well, in a social media space, you don't have to tell me about it anymore. You just go to the page and see all the pictures, right?
That's right. So, but besides the contest, there are so many activities. You say you don't want to talk sports for a few minutes, but I'm going to talk sports anyway, because your dog can play 20-yard dash. You can bowl with your dog. You can play tetherball with your dog, hide and seek. We now have a putt course. It's like a mini golf course. You can play against your dog. And, of course, we have our walk, which goes on during the morning if people want to participate in that. So there's plenty of physical activity as well.
All right, so I unfortunately can't be a part of this on the 17th because I'm going to be in Cleveland. Don't hold it against me. It's a football thing. But I want to make sure everybody gets out there. I mean, I know Joe Flacco has worked with you guys and has helped you guys as well. This is a no-kill shelter. The Dog Fest and Walking Festival is Saturday, September 17th. It's from 10 to 4. You can learn more very easy, dogfest.org. Dogfest.org. We're happy to be one of the partners in yelling about this and telling everybody how important it is. I also attended your event back in the spring, the nighttime event.
Tales.
That was so. The weird part about that is people bring their animals to a black tie dinner. I sort of get your campus is enormous out in the northwest side of town. How many dogs are you going to have out there? Because I was shocked to see 100, 150 dogs at a dinner event back in the spring.
Right.
But I have a feeling the outdoor part of this leads to a lot of barking going on out there next Saturday.
Unbelievable. And honestly, I'm not kidding you. I don't know how many dogs come, although you don't have to have a dog to enjoy this event. Trust me on that one. But Every single year that we have this event, I walk around with my jaw dropping because I just can't believe my eyes, the numbers, the sizes, just
the
every
breeds.
type of breed. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. And this is something I do every day, and I still can't get over what I see when I'm at Dog Fest. It's just amazing and so much fun. And kids love it, too. It's just such a blast. We have a big kids section for them.
How many years have you been at Be More Humane now?
I've been there 6 years now.
6 years. So I met you kind of early on.
Yes, I think it was my first year, actually.
How many, listen, every time I see you, I treat you in a similar fashion to the way my wife treated the guy who saved her life. You know, like, you just want to say thank you, and I know you don't feel like maybe personally responsible, but I can't be the only freaky, and I wasn't a dog or cat hater, lover. I was relatively neutral. I've had great pets. I've had some pets that, you know, weren't the best behaved and didn't have the best experience as a child. But as an adult, I've had 2 cats. I've loved them both immensely. You know, my wife, you know, has always had animals in her life, but we did spend the first 8.5 years of our marriage not agreeing, literally. I mean, she wanted a pet. I didn't. It wasn't anything about, it was more of just a responsibility issue, having employees and having a business and having a child.
I remember that conversation with you.
And I had that conversation before I knew you. I had it, you know, on the phone with you.
Right.
And, you know, I'd seen John Rollo, and I always talked to him, you know, about his work with animals. And, you know, he's a guy I grew up with who now runs very successful mixed martial arts studio, as well as a promotion that I know that you're aware of as well. You know, and a lot of athletes have gotten involved, you know, also with, you know, the other shelters in the area and the other places in the area that are trying to save animals, because I think everybody's kind of in it together. We all see the animals as being important. And I got involved with you guys, but I'm the one thanking you and putting you on the radio and screaming about it and screaming for everybody to go out there and adopt a pet if they're so inclined. I would never twist anyone's arm, but if you're in the market and you think you want an animal and you don't want a pre-owned animal or you know, an animal that you may perceive to be you know, a troubled animal, I would you know, greatly encourage you to, before you ever think differently, to go out and spend a little time to see what you guys do out there, because it is pretty special.
I think it's very special. And you know, I want to say that the work that we do is because these animals are voiceless, innocent creatures. And, you know, we're there to be their voice, we're there to protect them, and we're there to find them good homes. Very few of them are so troubled, like people have in their heads, oh, it's a used dog, it's not any good. A lot of people give up their dogs for a lot of different reasons. Maybe they're moving, maybe they're sick and old.
And I'm sure it's incredibly difficult to give up your animal.
Oh, my gosh, it's a horrible
I mean,
thing.
the people that gave our cat up, I mean, I'd love to thank them in some way, the way we were thanking the man who saved my wife's life. We would just like to do something nice for them, because there's no way they gave her up for a behavioral problem. No way. I mean, and they wrote 3 pages, which we found later kind of serendipitously, about her and about an allergy. You know, and she sheds like crazy. We got to vacuum around here twice a week, but we love her to death, and she sleeps in bed with us, and I can't begin to tell you how I wouldn't think that cat hair in my mouth would be in some way acceptable, but it is.
Look, the love and companionship that these animals give you is incomparable. It really is. And, you know, I can tell you person after person who adopts and how they talk about their pets. And they are really maybe even the most important being in their lives.
Well, certainly when my wife was in the hospital twice for 153 days, her entire inspiration was to get home and see her cat again. And,
yeah, I understand that completely.
There was one point, it's a fun story. I love telling this, and I don't tell it on the radio often. I think I maybe only told it once. But the first time she had cancer, about 40 days in, she was coming back to life, and she finally was disengaged from the tree that held the blood and all the fluids that they put in her.
Right,
and they let her free. And I drove over. It was a Saturday or a Sunday morning. It was a weekend where there was no one near the hospital. And she literally, it was springtime, she met me on the street with her little bald head and her pajamas out on the street at Orleans Street across from the Popeyes. Mm-hmm. And I said to her, because she wasn't sure if she was still going to be there another week, 10 days, 2 weeks. She was definitely getting to the point where she wasn't going to die there. She was going to be able to come home. And I said to her, just get in the car We're a mile away. I'll drive you over. I'll take you up the elevator, and you can spend 20 minutes with Kitty. No one will ever know that you've escaped the hospital. I'll bring you back. They'll just think you're, having a coffee. They won't know where you are.
Right, just taking a walk.
Just get in the car. Just get in the car, and I'll take you to see Kitty. And she literally sat there for 5 minutes thinking about whether she should escape the hospital. At one point, the doctors and the nurses said, "Can you bring the cat in a cat carrier to the hospital? We'll get a room downstairs and she can see the cat."
Oh, that was nice.
But it's too stressful for Kitty. Kitty's not a...
Yeah, that's true.
Kitty's shouldn't be in the elevator, in the car. Kitty doesn't like leaving the condo. Kitty's a condo kitty. And, but, that should tell you how important this cat is to us.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. And I'm sure she was crying plenty when she saw Kitty.
I have video of it that I can't share because it would kill you. It would crush you if you saw it. But Dog Fest, next Saturday, it's the 17th. Tell everybody how to get there, where it is, what they can expect. Maybe you're just somebody maybe in the market shopping for an animal and just want to come out for a day and get a vibe, get a feel a little bit for what you do. Because I promise you, it will, if you go to Be More Humane and you see Wendy, you will adopt an animal. Might not be that day, but you will fall in love with the right animal for you.
Well, and we work hard to make sure it is a good match, so that's really important. But when you come to Dog Fest, there will be a lot of rescues there with pets, dogs that they bring, in addition to, of course, all the dogs and cats and rabbits and other small animals that we have at the shelter, which will be available for you to take a look at and put in applications for at Dog Fest.
All right, can I yell for my wife just 1 second? Because I'm going to yell, "Honey, can you come bring Kitty? Bring Kitty in if you can hear me, please. Bring Kitty in." I just want to put her on the camera because people are yelling now on the Facebook Live. They want Kitty to wave to the camera. And I'm telling you, it's a mistake. She won't scratch me, but she won't stay long if she comes at all. And if she does, I'm going to go into whisper mode. I'm going to say, "Hi, Kitty. This is the camera. Wave." We're going to try this. I mean, at some point, my wife's going to bust in here, I think. So, anyway, keep going. Tell people about Dog Fest and dogfest.org.
Okay, so Dog Fest. You don't have to have a dog to love Dog Fest. Your kids will adore it. We've got a huge kids section. Brick Bodies is doing an agility course for the kids.
By the way, love Lynn and Victor. They're big supporters. Shout out to them.
Yeah,
love you guys for supporting this effort. Good for you.
Yeah, and so we figured, hey, the dogs get an agility course. Why not the kids? So the kids are going to have that. They have a moon bounce. They have Marshy Point is coming with an animal nature. They bring live animals for the kids to see. We've got crafts and games for them to play. A face painter. So we've got tons of things for the kids, and we've got a fascinating demonstration. I will say this. The Department of Public Safety and Corrections brings their canine unit detection dogs, and it is fascinating. They involve all the people that are there. The dogs try and sniff you down for the contraband. It's a great demo, and that goes on throughout the day, as well as the Oriole dog flyball demos. And we've got tons of activities. There's swimming for the dogs. There's just about anything you can think of.
Any dog that can fetch a Frisbee, that's always interesting. That's better than any halftime show.
That's right.
They used to have a dog up at Veterans Stadium when I was a season ticket holder for the Eagles, and the dog would just go out there for 10 minutes and chase the Frisbee, or like 2 or 3 dogs chasing Frisbees. I mean, who doesn't love that? I mean, that's right. It's sort of like the Blue Angels. Everybody loves it,
That's right. Plus, all the games that you can play with your dog. It's just endless. And, we also have prizes for the contest winners. If you come in, you're going to get free coupons from Pet Value this year. So there's tons of things that you're going to get. And, of course, we have the walk, which you do not have to go to, but we like to encourage people to do that because it's fundraising. That's from 10 to 12, and you can sign up to walk at dogfest.org. You can also sign up at dogfest.org and get your tickets ahead of time there on discount if you get them on our site now. So I suggest that you go into dogfest.org and buy your tickets ahead of time to save some money.
Parking's available. It's a beautiful space. If you're looking for something to do with your kids or with your family on the 17th, highly recommend the day at Dog Fest. My wife was one of the judges last year. She's still talking about it. And we will return when you have it on a Raven home weekend when we're actually here. I mean, I know Cleveland's a hell of an excuse. So I'm not lying. I mean, I wouldn't go to Cleveland by choice.
I know you're not lying.
I'm going to Cleveland because I'm forced to go to Cleveland. Last thing for you, for people out there that want to adopt an animal, and they're on the fence, talk them into it right now. I mean, for anybody out there, I promise you, I was not, and Wendy, you know this, I was not, the first-rate guy to be your spokesperson to say, come adopt a creature. I was on the fence, but you got, everybody goes from the fence to the other side of the fence at some point if they're going to adopt one of these great creatures. Give them the story. I was kind of shocked that, you guys called all of our, all the references we had to give. I mean, you guys have, some standards around there about who you're going to give your animals to.
Well, we want to make sure that it's a good match. That's the most important thing of all. These animals, deserve a good, loving home. And so do the adopters. They deserve to have a good pet that works with their lifestyle. So, a lot of times I say to people, you can look online at who's available, but don't make some preconceived notion that cute one that you saw online is the dog for you. Because when you meet that dog, it may have the exact opposite personality of what's right. Let us help you. We have adoption counselors, and we will ask you all
That's
about
awesome.
your lifestyle.
I just learned something there. I didn't know there was such a thing as an adoption counselor.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep, they work with each potential adopter. What are you looking for? What's your lifestyle? And we will match you with the right cat, with the right dog. We also have rabbits, guinea pigs. We always seem to have guinea pigs. Sometimes some rats and mice, if you're into that. But, we work really hard to match everybody up. We want this to be for life. We don't want this to be where you take home an animal and 3 weeks later you return it, because that's unhappy for everybody and it's disruptive for everyone's lives. So we don't want that. We make sure it's a good fit. And when it's a good fit, it is a part of your life. This animal becomes a member of your family. It becomes your best friend in many cases. And for some people, your pet is closer to you than your husband or your wife.
Well, it depends on which day you're asking and whether
right.
you're asking the husband or the wife around here.
Who else follows you into the bathroom? Right?
Hey, I tell you what, there are times she and I don't get along, and, I'm mad at her, she's mad at me. Neither one of us are ever mad at Kitty, and Kitty's never mad at us.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Hey, we appreciate all that you've done. Go to dogfest.org. Wendy helped us adopt our kitty, who we love. Kitty is just not meant for the radio. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I really wanted to bring her in. Everybody knows what she looks like. I post videos all the time. We actually caught her eating the oregano plant we had here. Who knew? She wants nothing to do with catnip, but she wants to eat oregano and lick basil. And sometimes she gums up our peaches if they get too ripe. Gotta love a cat. Wendy, thanks for all that you do, and we certainly appreciate you guys at Be More Humane, and we want to support you in any way we can.
Thank you. I hope everybody's listening can come out on Saturday, September 17th. It's a week from Saturday. You will have a blast, I guarantee it.
I'll be with the other dogs in Cleveland, but your dogs will be barking. Appreciate you, Wendy. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Nestor.
She is Wendy Goban from the marketing team, the Director of Marketing and PR out at Be More Humane. You can learn more at BeMoreHumane.org or at dogfest.org. And, of course, very available out on Facebook as well. And you can always throw me a note, nasty@WNST.net. Back to the pennant race. Back to Ravens football. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore. And we never stop talking Baltimore sports.